All right, y'all, good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? We're obviously chasing more catfish again today, but anyway, so consider this is a Saturday video, because I use Saturday videos as kind of like my randomness of things that, I don't know, that may come up through the week or, stuff like that, but I also use Saturday videos to answer questions, right? So we're gonna do some fishing today, so don't worry about that, but I get asked quite a bit, like, what do I deem a good place to fish? What do I look for in, say, a stretch of river that I think is going to have fish in it, or potentially have fish in it? It doesn't always have fish in it, but, potentially have fish in it. Well, so I'm going to answer some of that, and I'm going to do it on this stretch. If you remember last video, we come down here and we actually hit a pretty good spot, and then we quit fishing after we caught that 50 pretty much. But anyway, I wanted to scan it because, like I said, I think that this is, I haven't really put in the time to scan it except for right there at where the point is. But I wanted to scan it today to just check and see what kind of structure we have, check and see what kind of, just little things that there may be, flatheads hanging out. Because I do got to finish, that trip because, God, I want to catch a big flathead so bad I could feel it. It's going to happen. I'm just not 100% sure when. But anyway, this is just a random stretch of river, and I'll show you on the map why. Okay, so let me zoom out. So if you take the big scheme of things, right? So we have a outside bend that hits it, then it's a straight stretch. You can see where I've kind of went down it, but a lot of that stuff's off to the channel. I want to get up where I think a flathead be moving. And then we have this hard bend, which you can also see that I've done a lot of scanning past that. But I want to get where you can see where we're at. I want to get right along this ledge here and just see kind of what's up top. Like I said, I have scanned a little bit of this, but you can tell that it's all out in the channel, like it's right there on the bottom of the ledge, stuff like that. But I want to figure out what's up here. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, we got some. This is still prop wash. We just had a barge go by, but like I said, everybody. Now, keep in mind, this is what I do. This is not probably what everybody does. This is probably not the only thing to do. It's just one of the ways that I do it. And now I'll go over the graph. So basically what I did, this is a HDS 12 Pro, okay? Every setting you see is straight out of the box. I didn't do nothing different. I haven't done anything different. Well, I mean, I have in the past, but I've had to reset it since then because we had some issues with it down there in Mississippi. But anyway, so this is straight out of the box. This is no special adjustments, no sensitivity, whatever fix, or none of that crap. It's all just like you would buy it, mount it, turn it on. That's it. And to me, honestly, since I've done it, went back to that, it kind of seems like I get a lot better image. But anyway, we're going to kind of cruise down this, and we're going to see like what, because I want to know what's up there. That's where I'm looking at. We're kind of idling about that 33 feet, and it's going to change once we get down through here. But I want to see if like there's I know there's more structure down this way, but I haven't scanned up this way before because there's back behind us there's a rock bluff wall back there that once you start fishing out in front of it, it gets real snaggy. And so we're just kind of mainly not really looking for fish because these fish move all the time, so I'm not so much concerned about seeing fish right now as more so as I'm trying to figure out what kind of structure we have. So we're just going to kind of ease on down this bank. Typical speed like that I have found, and this could vary again, this is just my personal preference to things that I've noticed, is that when you're scanning like this using side scan, down scan, and stuff like that, roughly about 3.5 to 4 mile an hour is about optimal speed. Any faster than that, then you're going to be going faster than what your screen can keep up with. So let's see, like you can see, everybody asks what fish looks like. So if you can tell that little white dot right there, now that's a fish. That's potentially a fish. Obviously those are fish right there. That's actually a fairly decent fish. That's probably I don't know, that could be a catfish. But these little white dots, they're just, of course, obviously the sonar and a down scan show them a little bit too, but that's directly under the boat. But yeah, we're just going to kind of cruise down this bank and just kind of see what we can see. So now that's a little bit of structure right there, but it's not significant where I would think a flathead would hang out in it. But we got some good stuff coming up. So I want to get kind of close to it. We got a tree that's kind of in the water. I need to see what kind of depth it's in. If it's 15 foot, that'll be a fishable spot. So again, we got another fish there, another fish there. Those are potentially catfish. We got a piece of structure coming up right there. I wonder how big that is. That's an old tree. You can clearly see that. Let me see, get the glare out of there. Keep forgetting about that glare, but that's a tree right there. So I'll drop a waypoint on that. That's a good little piece of something. But you see where it's at. It's out towards the bottom of the ledge on this little point here. Another underwater point. Yes, we'll keep moving on down, and that's kind of what it looks like on down scan. Actually, that's what it really good depiction of it on sonar. If that's all you got is sonar, that's a really good depiction of what it looks like on sonar. But I think this little spot here, this little bank, is going to prove to be pretty good one of these nights. So we've got another tree here. I'll mark that. Let me see what that looks like. There's a fish sitting right there, right on top of that dude. Okay. I mean, we're not gonna fish it, but it's good to know. Ooh, look at this. So we got all this junk right out here. Let me drop a waypoint. I think I've already got that marked. Yeah, it's this big brush pile that I've already got marked here. And that's a big brush pile. So those are things that, like, in an evening, I'll start down and fish the structure that I've got down there, and then I'll just kind of, bounce up and sit on top of the structure, which it's a whole line of it. You can see where I marked that, and it's just a whole line of it. I probably got this one marked too, but the more waypoints I drop on it, so like there, you can see it's a little bit off. So you got some right at the head of this little underwater point here, and you got a little bit more right behind it. So that's good, and we're good places. Now we're getting ready to come up on this tree here. You can see it, so we're gonna see what it looks like on side scan. I'm trying to keep that glare out of there best I can. And we got some of it that comes out. Looks like it comes out. Well, it's actually right here. Still, I'm gonna mark it anyway. Just to kind of, and I'm moving around at night. Lets me know it's there a little bit better. So far, it's looking pretty good. But when I'm scanning an area, and I'll be honest with you, I hate scanning, y'all. I hate spending time doing this. I would much rather, just go fishing and figure it out from there. But sometimes, this is what you kind of got to do if you want to be a little bit more effective fishing. But I got another stretch on down we're going to fish today. But I just wanted to come across this and really pay attention to it. Because you can see here and when I'm talking more specifically flatheads, you can see where the contour lines are really dense, and then they start to spread out right through here. So this is essentially a little flat off the river. Just a little flat. What most people wouldn't call it a flat, they'd call it just a bank, but I call it a flat out here because we don't have many. But that is a pretty good idea what kind of what I'm looking for. Just that upper area, maybe there's some junk sitting on top of it. Right now there's a bunch of junk fish sitting on top of it. So now we got this big old stuff there, which I'm pretty sure I've already got that marked. Yeah, it's right here on this point. So I just like dropping waypoints. I probably got way more waypoints on this thing that I absolutely need, but I like dropping, if I rescan it and it's still there, or if it's gotten bigger or things like that, it helps me. Like I said, it's just the way I do it. Spencer, he likes to name all his waypoints, which, that's super helpful too, because when me and him fish together, I do the same thing just so we can both know what's on the graph. Now see, right here, That's interesting because this is, and you can see these little straight lines that come up. Those are like little stumps that are down there. Yeah, let me mark that dude. I haven't seen that one before. And see, that's right on the edge here. So it's like a little hump where this hole comes up. So it's just a hump where that it probably, you know, over the years had pushed up some things, you know. There's a lot of bait up here though. So like we're coming across, you know, the trash on this bank here, you can see it. I mean, like this is kind of the stuff I'm looking for when it comes to searching for these flatheads. You know, we're kind of like, yeah, right there, man. That's some good looking stuff. I like seeing that. That's kind of, you know, again, that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking for these just the little things for these flatheads. And of course, on around the point, I've got a bunch of waypoints there because I've scanned it probably 100 million times. So, but little trees, little sticks, little logs, kind of like this stuff here is, you know, it's just a really good spot where a flathead will come move up, and blues too. Blues will move up in this stuff in the evening also. I said we got a pretty good little piece of it right here. Kind of got like a, I don't know, kind of got like a little pile of something. Got some more trees here. Let me mark that. Let me mark that. And it's kind of like a little, I guess, little rock pile, a little something going on there. Huh. It's kind of neat looking. Still, you know, fairly good water depth. And we got quite a few fish laying up on the bank here. You could see them. I'm pretty sure those are probably gar, Asian carp type-ish fish. Being that, you know, being stacked like that up there, being that dense, that many of them in one spot. Buffaloes, I mean, it could be a number of things, but it's more than likely not catfish. And if they are catfish, they ain't the size we're looking for. So that is kind of it outside of these little washouts here. Don't really see much of anything. Outside of when we get up here, because I know there's quite a bit of stuff up here. But we'll scan across it just to make sure it's all still there. Oh, why did I do that? I got us another piece of structure right there. You drop that waypoint. Yeah, like I said, I absolutely hate doing this stuff. But it just seems like you waste a lot of time when you could be fishing. I hit the wrong button on my map graph. I turned it off like a dummy. I meant to change the brightness because I had it turned down from the other night. Okay. All right, so we're kind of getting into, got a few stumps and stuff up here. Like that's a stump. Should have some more up here. I know I got that marked. Let me mark it again just to make sure. Yep, populated in the same exact spot that I have the rest of them at. But you can just see the junk right here. Like stuff like this is what I'm looking for, and the fact that it's basically right on this point here, it just makes it even more gnarly. So we got that's the buoy chain going to this buoy here. Quite a bit of junk down there. That'll hold some fish for sure. There might even be some in it. I can't really tell for 100% sure, but it looks like there's a couple fish in it already. But yeah, so there's more of it right there. A lot of bait. So that's a fish. That's a fish. You can see the shadows off of them. Decent fish too. But yeah, y'all, that's what I wanted to cover for first part of this video, because I get asked that question a lot, and I'm glad you asked them, because I love answering stuff like that. But that's what I look for, little things like that. I just pick a stretch on the river on the map that looks good, and then that's what I kind of just go investigate, and then I break that, like I've always said, I take that stretch and I try to break it down at the spots. Then again, when it comes to when I get back to chasing flatheads, I can break that down into individual spots, like even make that stretch way smaller, and that way you fish more effectively. But anyway, we're gonna head on down, get past this barge here. We're gonna head on down to our fishing spot and get to fishing. All right, y'all, we made it to our stretch of river that I want to fish. First things first, though, I've been kind of neglecting a thing, and that's replacing leaders. I was fishing yesterday, which I always got some in the boat, in case I lose one or something like that. But for some reason, because I typically retie everything after every trip, but I just have not been doing it. Been fairly busy at the house and whatnot, and just haven't done it. So before we get going, we are definitely going to address these leaders, because some of these got some pretty significant nicks in them. And yeah, they need to be retied. I noticed that yesterday. We were kind of wrapping everything up. I say yesterday, last trip, we were wrapping everything up. I was like, wow, good thing I didn't catch any bigger fish, because I might have had an issue if I did. But we are going to fix that. So the knot that I use from my braid to the swivel, which essentially my main line, is I use a polymer knot. Polymer knot, I like it, especially when we get to like Draggin. I just like it period, because it's a strong knot. But when we get to Draggin and stuff, I like it because it's double around the swivel itself, so it's a little bit stronger of a knot, slightly more abrasion resistant, stuff like that. But and then tie my leader is just a regular fisherman's knot. I just wrap it 5 times, because this 80-pound line is kind of stiff, so you don't really need to wrap it 10, 15, 20 times to get the effect. Plus it'd be hard to cinch down if you did it that many times. So that's kind of the deal with that. But I'll get these other 2 knocked out, and then we will get some baits in the water. Bait today again, I caught me another Asian carp, so that's going to be the bait again today. It has proven to be a really good bait this time of year. I was against it, like you've heard me say before. I was against it for a while, just because them things are just nasty. They stink. I don't like messing with them. All those things. But it's a good bait. It really is a good bait. And last year definitely proved that to me. And so we're gonna go with it until it lets us down. Is that our first fish finally? Why does every one of them want to go towards that center rod? Our first fish, finally. Yeah, we've been dragging a minute. We have crossed over several fish. I don't know, I guess they don't like eating first thing in the morning. I guess they're not morning fish. I'm trying to let you burp there, buddy. Well, you got all kinds of wrapped up in that line, didn't you? Not a terrible first fish at all. Come on in here, buddy. Heck yeah. Yeah, he's not a terrible first fish at all. Nice solid 12 pounder to start the morning. 10 pounds I give him. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Get the skunk out of the boat, finally. It was kind of, because, you know, kind of like I showed earlier in this video, you know, I kind of scanned, not all of this stretch here, but I scanned a pretty good bit of it, and I seen quite a few fish along it. And we have come across quite a few fish, just like we did last trip. It's just, you know, I mean, there's a number of factors we could throw out there. I mean, it's definitely going to be another high pressure day. That's definitely happening today. We've got the fact that, you know, they keep raising, and you know, they raise the river, you know, 2 or 3 feet, then they drop it 2 or 3 feet, and it just keeps going on throughout the day. Right now we're on the drop. That's why I pulled off the ledge, and I'm kind of out here in the channel, because that's where I've seen most of these fish at. Because when that water's falling, they kind of want to pull out, just get to a place where it's a lot comfortable for them, but it also seems to not make them hungry. So that's the problem. Or wanting to eat, I guess, would be the better statement. So we're just gonna, I just wish, it almost seems like they're trying to go ahead and pull it down the winter pool. It seems kind of early, and I can't remember when they actually start doing it here, which I should know. I've only been fishing this river for a lot of years, but it seems like it's usually around that August, September time frame is when they start pulling this river down. And I don't know. Well, that was a major bust. Seen a lot of fish. Seems like definitely same story, different day. They kept this flow out. It is horrible fishing. But anyway, we're gonna pick up, and we're gonna go back around that point where we're gonna fish the inside portion of it. See if that makes a difference. Man, one fish out of that whole drag. But like I said, I've seen plenty of fish on the bottom, plenty of fish. Ones that we are after. All right, made it down to another stretch. Oh man, I tell you what, just getting tougher and tougher fishing. I just wish they would hurry up and bring it down to winter pool, and everything would be just fine. If they could do that, everything would be just peachy keen. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Well, if this little fish can get hooked with it being hooked like that, then that's good. I think I still got him. Feels like I do. Oh, this little bitty dude. I mean, look at this little bitty dude. My Lord. If this guy can get hooked by me hooking that bait like that, this itty bitty thing here, man, I can't remember the last time I caught one that small. Wow. Well, either way, I appreciate it, buddy. Man, that was a very small fish. Like I said, I don't know the last time I caught one that small. Holy crap. Man. Oh man, I think we done found Dinkville, y'all. I think we have. Yeah. Yep, I think we found Dinkville. Probably a reason why I don't fish this stretch of river. My God, this one, he's got to be bigger than the last one. That has to happen. He ain't much bigger, but he is bigger. Yeah, he ain't much bigger. Let him work some more air bubbles out. I think he's good. There we go. I seen some more come out of him. Yeah, he ain't much bigger. Oh man, I ain't got a whole lot of time to be out here. I was hoping to knock out a good one real quick, but Mother Nature has different plans for sure. All right, well, he's not as small as that last one. So that's not terrible. Oh, buddy, I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh. Well, all right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this one. Oh man, I'll tell you what, I just don't have the time. I gotta get my boy to church and all that stuff, so we gotta get back, get cleaned up, get this thing put away, all that stuff. But man, it is tough when they ain't running current on this river. You know, it'd be one thing if they didn't run current for a while, and like I said, you know, obviously, you know, when these fish get used to them conditions, they'll be fine, they'll move around some. But so we got out here this morning. Of course, I only had probably 2 hours of fish, so didn't really have a whole lot of time to sit there and scan around and find some stuff. My main point for this video was to get that first part out, like I said, because I get a lot of questions about what I'm looking for in a spot. Well, I went over one particular, you know, instance, I guess, that I would love to fish, and that's the stretch that we fished last trip. I did pretty well on. So those are kind of the things like that. But this here is kind of a, I don't fish it. I've never drug boards across it. I don't even think I've ever catfished it, to be honest with you. Figured I'd try it out, but you know, with no current, looks like Dinkville here. So we're gonna get out of here. But anyway, but that was my main point of this video, was to get that out, answer a few questions. Hopefully I did. You know, if I didn't, please feel free to leave them in the comments if you have more questions. I can most definitely go over more stuff like that. I don't know, I don't like doing it. I just figured it was kind of boring, so I wouldn't, you know, I don't post a whole lot of that stuff. But clearly, you know, some of you guys want to know a little bit more about it, and I have zero problem sharing that. You know, you guys know that, have been watching me a while. But yeah, so we're gonna get this all packed up. Like I said, I got daddy obligations today. My wife, she's working late, so I got to go take care of that portion of it all. But all in all, wasn't terrible. Another day on the water. Hope you guys learned something. I know I did. It's to not come back down this stretch again. But we're gonna get this stuff packed up, get cleaned up. Next time we come out, we're gonna try to chase different bait. That's just gonna happen. The white bass, I found them. I actually found them this morning, but like I said, again, I didn't want to waste time trying to catch some because I didn't have a whole lot of time out here. But they're schooled up now. They're chasing these big balls of shad, and I've got a stretch of river that typically has a bunch. You just got to wait for them to come up. I'm going to probably try to live scope them. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. I'll give it a shot. I'm good when it comes to chasing bait, but chasing these white bass, maybe I have to. I don't know. Maybe we'll play with that. We'll see what we can't figure out on that. So that'll probably be next video for sure. Because I want to try some white bass, especially now that we're definitely in the 90s as far as water temp, and that's a really good bait when it's hot like it is. But anyway, look forward to that one. So with all that being said, I appreciate you watching this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.